I think it would be fine now. All right, perfect. Wow, amazing. All right. So the training agenda, the internship agenda would be of 4 weeks. Just 1 second, please do me a favor, please come on the student. Okay, all right. One of the special requests from one of the faculty members on my WhatsApp. Fine, okay. So we'll use Hindi and English both, as I am not that much proficient, because most of the registrations, almost 50% of the registrations have come from, slightly less than 50% of the registrations have come from Punjab. I'm not that much proficient in Punjabi language, but yes, I can mix a flavor of Hindi with English. Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for letting me know. So हमारा जो ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम रहेगा, हमारा जो इंटर्नशिप प्रोग्राम रहेगा, वो it will be of 4 weeks, and starting from this week, 2nd of June, and the entire agenda would have been shared with you over email. And every Tuesday and Friday we would be meeting live. Okay, every Tuesday and Friday we would be live at 12:5 p.m. Okay, and for the 4 weeks you would be doing the entire setup, the entire learning. We'll start from the basic scratch, and then we'll go ahead, and then we'll, from the second week onwards, Lokesh ji would be telling us in detail what exactly, in which week we would be starting off with part, and like what all the trainings and everything. But from the second week we will start the implementation, your live environment, your project, and all those things. Okay, disable attendee, and the people who are doing, showing their craft on the screen, I have disabled you. Okay, so that's the whole thing. And apart from that, one of the biggest gifts, one of the biggest bonuses what we have given you is, apart from this live internship on data science Python, we have also given you the complete access of द 35 टेक्नोलॉजीज. हमने आपको अपना पूरा का पूरा 35 टेक्नोलॉजीज वाला पोर्टल एक्सेस दे दिया है, जिसमें कि C++, जावा, पाइथन, डेटा साइंस, मशीन लर्निंग, क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, बिग डेटा, हडूप, एवरी एडवांस टूल्स, हर एक चीज है जो कि एक कंप्यूटर साइंस स्टूडेंट को चाहिए होती है अपने आप को ओवरऑल ग्रूम करने के लिए. Oh my God. Okay, one of the messages I have got. Okay, I'll take care about you. What's your first name? I think your first name is Nodes. So few people who are outside of India, they have also joined in the particular internship program. So they are now getting it hard to understand Hindi. So I'll mix Hindi and English both. All right. So uh, so this, the entire platform of 35 technologies we have provided you, पूरा का पूरा platform हमने आपको provide कर दिया है, जिसमें कि ये जो training live होगी by our expert Mr. Lokesh. Whatever he will be telling you, whatever we will be doing live, that will be on data analysis and Python. Data analysis और Python के ऊपर हम सब कुछ live चीजें करेंगे, ठीक है, ट्रेनिंग में. और आपको असाइनमेंट्स और आपको टास्क दिए जाएंगे, दैट बिफोर द नेक्स्ट सेशन, आफ्टर 2 days और 3 days, जो अगला सेशन होगा, तब तक आपको क्या करके रखना है पोर्टल में से. उसके बाद आपको नेक्स्ट सेशन से पहले आपको क्या करना है पोर्टल में से, नेक्स्ट सेशन से पहले आपको क्या करना है पोर्टल में से. ओके, ये वाली सारी की सारी चीजें चलेंगे. अलोंग विद दैट, जो आपको अदर टेक्नोलॉजीज पे, बिकॉज अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल वर आस्किंग मी अबाउट C++, जावा एंड अदर टेक्नोलॉजीज, वो नाउ इट इज अप टू योर कैपेबिलिटी, नाउ इट इज अप टू योर कैलिबर एंड योर परफॉर्मेंस, कि आप अपने टाइमिंग को कैसे एडजस्ट करते हैं बाकी टेक्नोलॉजीज और बाकी स्किल्स को अपग्रेड करने के लिए और लर्न करने के लिए. ठीक है, हमने आपको पूरा का पूरा प्लेटफॉर्म दे दिया. आप रात को पूरी रात बैठ के पढ़ो, पूरा दिन बैठ के पढ़ो, जो एक्स्ट्रा आपको पढ़ना है, एक्स्ट्रा कोर्सेज करने हैं, दैट इज ऑल योर चॉइस. और दूसरी सबसे बड़ी बात, आप जो भी कोर्सेज वहां से करते रहोगे, वेदर आप यू डू फॉर C++, वेदर यू डू फॉर एनी अदर टेक्नोलॉजी, हिंदी इंग्लिश मिक्स करने में थोड़ा दिक्कत हो रही है, एनी टेक्नोलॉजी, एनी कोर्स यू डू, उसके आपको सेपरेट सर्टिफिकेशंस भी आप जनरेट कर सकते हो एज सुन एज यू कंप्लीट 80% ऑफ दोज कोर्सेज। अगर आप 80% 85% ऑफ दोज कोर्सेज को आप कंप्लीट करते हो अलग से अपनी लर्निंग अपनी ग्रोथ के लिए, आपको उन टेक्नोलॉजीज के सर्टिफिकेट भी जनरेट हो जाएंगे प्लेटफॉर्म के अंदर, एंड यू कैन डाउनलोड दोज सर्टिफिकेशंस और वो आपके ईमेल पे आ जाएगा। ठीक है, उसके अलावा जो आपको इंटर्नशिप का सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा, प्रोजेक्ट का सर्टिफिकेशन मिलेगा, ये 5 प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं विच वी विल बी कवरिंग, विच यू कैन सी ऑन द स्क्रीन। इनका जो इंटर्नशिप और प्रोजेक्ट का जो सर्टिफिकेशन मिलेगा वो तो अलग से होगा ही, जो कि आपको आफ्टर कंप्लीशन ऑफ 4 वीक्स मिलेगा। ऑलराइट, along with that we would also take care of your live queries, your live things. Okay, so whatsoever queries you have, whatsoever you are stuck in, and जो भी आपके क्वेश्चंस होंगे, जो भी चीजें होंगी, उसका पूरा पूरा ध्यान रखा जाएगा। बट जस्ट कॉपरेट विद अस, बिकॉज अगर लाइव ट्रेनिंग चल रही है, लाइव कुछ बताया जा रहा है, अगर बीच में आप लोग बार बार क्वेश्चंस पूछेंगे, इट गेट्स हार्ड फॉर द इंस्ट्रक्टर, फॉर द ट्रेनर टू गेट इनटू द फ्लो, और आपको एक प्रॉपर लर्निंग और प्रॉपर फ्लो के साथ नहीं डिलीवरी हो पाती। ठीक है, तो उसके लिए हम एक सेपरेट टाइम रखेंगे। ठीक है, मे बी सेशन के बाद, और मे बी एक सेशन सेट कर लेंगे कि यार यहाँ पे हम लास्ट के 30 मिनट्स और लास्ट के 20 मिनट्स, और जो भी एक प्रॉपर डेडिकेटेड हम टाइम सेट कर लेंगे, उस दौरान आप अपनी कितनी भी क्वेरीज पूछ सकते हो। और क्वेरीज पूछने के लिए हम बहुत ही सब कुछ सॉर्टेड रखेंगे। ऐसा नहीं कि आप चैट में डाल रहे हो, आपकी चैट मिस हो गई या आगे पीछे हो गई। ठीक है, आपकी, हम नहीं चाहते कि आपकी एक भी क्वेरी छूट जाए। ऑलराइट, सो वी वुड गिव यू अ प्रॉपर फ्रेमवर्क जहां पे आप अपनी क्वेरीज डाल सकते हो, और वो क्वेरी नेम बाय नेम वी वुड जस्ट गो थ्रू एंड वी विल गिव यू आंसर। लाइव सेशन के अंदर ही आपको भी दिखेगा किसकी क्या क्वेरी थी फटाफट से, और वो हम सॉल्व कर देंगे। ठीक है, so just be with the mindset, I want only and only one commitment, one thing from all of your side. Just be with the mindset that we are here to learn and grow. Okay, we are just here to learn and grow. Whatsoever queries, जो भी आपके दिमाग में questions हैं, whatsoever doubts हैं आपके दिमाग में, do not think कि यार ये बहुत ही silly question है, silly doubt है, I'm not gonna ask it, या फिर ये क्वेश्चन सुन के या फिर ये चीजें देख के माई फ्रेंड्स वुड बी लाफिंग ऑन मी और मेरा मजाक बनाएंगे। वी आर नॉट हेयर टू केयर अबाउट एनी डैम पर्सन, वी आर हेयर टू इम्प्रूव ऑन आवर ओन सेल्फ। हम यहाँ पर हैं अपनी ग्रोथ, अपनी लर्निंग, अपनी इंप्रूवमेंट के लिए। वी आर नॉट हेयर टू जस्ट सेटिस्फाई एंड मेक अदर्स हैप्पी। हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू अग्री विद दिस? जस्ट टाइप इन द चैट बॉक्स agree. Just type in the chat box agree, and we will go forward and we'll start right now. Just type in the chat box if you agree with the particular thing and with the particular methodology. Wow, a lot of people are putting in the chat message whatever questions or whatever things you're asking. So some questions or some things you can send it to everyone as well. In chat settings there is an option to send it to host, okay, or send it to everyone. So you can send it to everyone so that everyone can get to know about your query, can get some idea out of it. For example, Harjeet Singh asked some queries, Neha asked some query, okay, Ankush asked some query, or maybe Nisha or anyone asked certain queries. सो इट कैन बी पॉसिबल कि वो क्वेरी बाकी लोगों के दिमाग में भी हो। ठीक है, सो अगर आप एवरीवन को सेंड करोगे, एवरीवन को चैट सेटिंग्स में जाके, इट विल बी विजिबल टू एवरीवन एंड दे विल आल्सो गेट टू नो एंड दे विल आल्सो गेट आइडिया ऑफ ऑल दोस थिंग्स। ऑलराइट, और अगर आपको कुछ बहुत ही ज्यादा कोई चीज ऐसी लगती है कि नहीं यार एवरीवन में नहीं पूछना, ठीक है, सब क्या सोचेंगे जो भी है, तो उस क्वेश्चन को छोड़ना मत, प्राइवेट मैसेज में डाल के छोड़ देना। ओके, सो we just only have a one mission कि आपके सारी की सारी queries resolve हो जाए, that is it. Would you please start with the agenda? Absolutely. See, this is our first day, and if it is very much needed, very much required that we make everything clear so that no one has any question, no one has any doubt, because for you you only have one point of contact कि आप क्वेश्चन पूछ लोगे और आप चैट पे पूछ लोगे या बाद में क्लैरिफाई कर लेंगे, बाद में देख लेंगे। For us it is 250 participants or 270 participants. All right, that is why I am investing and I am giving my 15 20 30 minutes in the before starting of the internship only. All right, we are here to start with the agenda as well. That's it. Okay, Sir, are you Saurav, sir? Yes, I am Saurav. My name is Saurav Pal, and you might have got something in the emails or anything from the IT tool side where my name might be there or anything. All right. How many of you know me before joining this particular industry? How many of you know me? Just type in the chat box me. Wow, so many people. You came on hackathon as well. Absolutely, Rahul. Rahul Kanda. Okay. 7th February. Wow, you remember the date as well. Okay. So my name is Saurabh Pal and I'll be taking care of all these things. And I'm operating on this IT tools training from all India level, India as well as the few parts of UAE as well. So I would be there with you for throughout the entire training, and we would be having a bang on, and we would be making it possible for every single person. Okay. And sincere thanks before we just start off. I know Amit Gupta also. Wow, amazing. Okay. So before we start off, sincere gratitude and sincere thanks to our college partners, the colleges who have came in front and they gave those opportunities to you. Okay. The college, which is APJ from Jalandhar, the college PCBT, RVP University, JIMS college, which is in Delhi, NIT Kurukshetra, a lot of colleges are there. So who came in front and we shared the idea with them, and they also provided that opportunity to you people. So let's kickstart with the gratitude. Just show your gratitude. All thanks to your college name or any of your faculty. Avneep sir is there, Bharat sir is there. Just type in all thanks to either your college name or your faculty name. So let's get started with the gratitude, people. Show some gratitude, show some love, show some thanks to all of the people who have made this possible only and only for you. Wow, thanks PCBT. Thanks PCBT fam. Wow. All set. All right. Okay. I'll just have a quick photograph. Wow. So let's get started. I'll make Lokesh a host. Okay, he'll be there with you. He'll be guiding you. He's gonna take care of all the training and everything on the Pythons and data science related things. All right, all thanks to SRS. Wow, from SRS, Neeta ma'am has been coordinating and she came in front. All thanks to Neeta ma'am, Avneep sir, Bharat sir, and the entire team of PCBT, Sanjay sir, Kulvinder sir, Virat sir, and Priya ma'am, their TPO. So I'm making you host, Lokesh sir, and let me know if you are able to have an access. Thanks, Bharat sir. Thank you so much. Thanks. And now we are going to start, people. You can still send a reminder message to your friends or in the group so that they can also join and they don't miss on this. Still, 100 people are missing on this particular live training. 100 people are not there, and they might miss a lot of things because this is a kickstart and we'll start from everything from basics, scratch zero. So all over to you, Logesh sir. People are just waiting to hear your voice.
Thank you, Saurabh. Thanks a lot. So let me share. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you all can hear me loud and clear. Ping me in the chat box. Thanks, guys. So let me quickly share my screen. All right, everyone. Let's start this session. Good afternoon again. Guys, my name is Lokesh Paliwal. I'm your instructor for 8 session of training program for data analysis, visualization, and data science using Python. About my work experience, I have 12 years of experience in data analytics. From mid of 15, I'm working as an independent contractor, as a consultant in data science and corporate trainer. Prior to that, I have worked with Cisco Capital for more than 2 years as a senior business analyst. And prior to Cisco, I have worked with Sapient Consulting and HSBC Bank. My core experience is into data analytics. All right. This program we have divided into 8 sessions. We have given you the access of our entire portal from where you can access our pre-recorded courses also. I will start with the agenda. Before that, let me just show you the courses because you have to access the detailed videos from the courses. Okay. So this is our portal, which is IT Tools Training. Just hold for a second, guys. I think some problem. Someone is accessing. Annotation box. Let me, I think I have to clear all drawings again. Okay. So portal access, which we have given to you all, is IT Tools Training. And where you can see we have a search box where if you search the particular course which you are looking for, just click on Python and you will find the Python courses here. If I scroll down, you will find we have good number of courses on Python. Let me type again. You can see we have a core Python for beginners. We have data analysis and visualization using Python, and then Selenium web drivers for Python, and some other courses which you can see here. Just hold for a second, guys. Let me just check with team if we can disable this. Okay. So hope now all of you can hear me. Let's ping me in the chat box again, please. Jasdeep, Omkar, Vedant, Rahul. Thanks. Thanks, technical team. So, all right. So where we were, we said on this portal, we have a good number of Python courses. And as in 8 sessions, we can conduct only around 10 hours of training. But as a student, your input is, if your instructor gives you 10 hours, that means you should give around 1000 hours to get expertise in any domain. If you want to get expertise. All right. No, Vedant, let me record this session, and we are already recording this session and we'll upload this recording over this portal and you can access this. Okay. So let's quickly start with the courses which you can focus. And the very first course, which is for beginners, you can see here is data analysis and visualization using Python. And when I click on the content part here, we have Python essentials, data structures, function formatting, NumPy, pandas, all these libraries one by one. So this is your course 1. And then we have one course for machine learning algorithms. What is our agenda of this internship training? Is to train you on implement those algorithms in Python. We'll start this program with understanding of Python. So those who are beginners, and for those guys, okay, let's say Python is completely new language. They are not from CS background, IT background. So session 1 and session 2 is very important, because when you want to create any model, two things is required. For an example, I want to do credit card fraud detection model. I want to perform this. So two things which are required is how to implement this in Python. That means Python understanding, in which object will store data, how we perform data cleaning, data transformation, and data visualization so that we can read our data, and algorithms understanding, which we can pick here as stats. So to create our entire model for fraud detection, we have to cover these two parts. In session 1 and session 2, I will cover implementation of Python. Just ping me in the chat box, guys, how many of you are not from programming background? Python is completely new for them. Would like to understand this, so that will help you also. Okay, session by session. Lakshmi based, Tanush, Vikas, great, Sandeep. Okay, so Python as a language is completely new for you all. Okay, makes sense. No worries, guys. Session 1 and session 2, it's completely regarding your Python understanding. Now, when I rate this programming language, no need to worry about this language, because when we compare with other programming languages, this is very easy to use and easy to understand. So my objective and the agenda of our session 1 is Python understanding, how you can install this application. I will not show you in detail, but you can refer the videos from our IT tools training. Installation, notebook, which we use where we write our programs. We'll cover data structures. In Python, we have list, tuple, dictionary, sets, data structure. That means in which you store your data. We'll cover conditional statement. We'll cover loops. We'll cover function. I will explain you this topic in a day 1. And then remaining topic from the base Python program in our session 2. And after that, from session 3, we'll start with stat. We'll start with algorithms. We'll pick one by one algorithms and how to use them in Python. All right. So let's start with what is Python. Python, it's a general purpose, object oriented, high level programming language. You can see from this screenshot, it's easy to use, expressive, interpreted, object oriented, dynamic type, GUI programming support language. Okay, what is high level programming language? Any input online, guys? You can type in the chat box, what is high level programming language? You will find, okay, when we talk about programming languages, as Python is a programming language, you will find, okay, we have low level programming languages, we have high level programming languages. So when we are in definition calling Python as a high level programming languages, what does this mean here? High level programming language. My input for Python, high level language, which is close to the human language. Simply, you can say that, which is close to the human language. Now, your machine don't understand human language. They understand machine code, right? So This programming language, it's our high level language where we write our instructions and syntax in the language which is close to human. And when I'm saying close to human, so that means it is easy to understand. There are some low level languages also, which are not as much easy as much Python is. Okay. So high level language, which is close to human language and we can easy to understand. But okay, you have created your program, you have written your instruction, you have instructions, you have created your robot using high level languages. Obviously, you have to convert end of the day into the machine code so that your machine can understand. So second input which we have covered in the definition is it's a high level language, interpreted language. Right. So we have two types of compiling methods using which we convert our language into the machine code. Basics of programming language we are covering here right now, and which is very important if you start your journey with Python. So note down this topic whenever you get time, do your research on this topic. What is high level languages? I said high level language is close to human language. Low level languages are like machine codes, which your machine understands. Now Python is a high level language. So that means whatever I will write, I can read that easily. I can understand that easily. End of the day, to give that to machine, we have to convert that into machine code. And to convert that into machine code, we have compilers and interpreters. This is interpreted language. What happens in compiler? Program will compile your entire program in one go into machine code. The job of these two is to convert your language into machine code, guys. Interpreter will convert your code line by line. So my second input here is first topic. You should get the understanding about the language which you have picked. That is, okay, what type of language this is. If someone asks you as in a definition, it's a high level interpreted language. Python is. Job of interpreter and compiler here is to convert your language into machine code, and which is very important. Right. Third thing, okay, I got to know that, okay, Python is this language and using interpreter line by line, we can convert this into machine code. But how I will write it, how I will perform this? So there are multiple ways. You can download directly Python also from the Python website, or you can use some distribution packages also. In our session, the package which I will use is Anaconda distribution package. So Anaconda is the open source distribution package, which we use for Python and for R also. All these topics we have explained in detail in our courses. You can see here, we have Python Essential, where you will find how to install Anaconda distribution package. You will find the steps here. So let me also show you. Just go to the internet and browse for Anaconda. Distribution. So you can see here, individual edition, we have, just click on this. And from here, you can install this package as per your OS, which operating system you have. If you have operating system Linux, for that also you can download. If you have operating system Windows, for that also you can download. So if I click on install Anaconda, you can see for Windows we have, for Mac we have, and for Linux we have. So first step is, guys, those who have not installed Python in their machine, install after this session Anaconda distribution package. In Anaconda distribution package, we have notebooks where we write our programs. Correct. So what I do, where I will write my program, let me just open that environment, and that environment is, guys, in my Anaconda distribution package. You can open your Jupyter notebook using Anaconda Navigator, or you can open Anaconda prompt where you can write Jupyter notebook and just hit enter. Once you install this application, you will get the Anaconda console. Just write there Jupyter notebook and you will get the Jupyter here. We have covered 3 topics here, and here comes a new topic, which is, okay, what is Jupyter now? We have discussed that, okay, Python, it's a language, it's a programming language, which is high level and interpreted language, and which we'll use for data analysis. This is very versatile language we use in different areas. Our goal here is to understand how we can use this Python language in data science, data analytics, data mining. Correct. So first thing we have covered, Python understanding. Second, okay, open source distribution package. Now, as Python is an open source language, when you want to perform something, there are some essential packages also required. Like we have pandas, matplotlib, numpy. When you install this entire package, those essential packages are already part of this distribution package. Some other packages you want to install, you can use conda command here, and we can install inside this distribution package. Fourth topic comes, okay, I have installed it. Where we write our code? We write our code inside Jupyter notebook, guys. Very basics we are covering right now. Jupyter notebook. Here we write our programs. Let me show you the interface. This is our Jupyter notebook interface. You can see some of the notebooks here. ANOVA, a priori, arrays, association rule, chi-square, controls, data processing. The extension of your Python notebook is IPy NB. You can see IPython notebook. Like Excel extension is .xlsx. Similarly, your IPython notebook extension is .ipy NB. I have quickly covered how to install Anaconda because that is very easy. You can reference from the very first video and install it in your machine after this session, guys. Now I want to open new workbook. I want to create my own program. I want to create my own robot. Just click on new button, and here you can see we can insert new Python 3 notebook. Left click on this. And this is my blank Python 3 notebook. What is Jupyter notebook? Your Jupyter notebook, it's a web application where you can execute your Python program and you can see the data visualization. You can read the outputs. You can execute commands. You can execute algorithms. So it's very easy to write web interface. Correct. So it's source where we write our program. So I have not saved it yet. So let's save this as session 1. So this is how we save our Jupyter notebook. Now in this, few things which we should cover. When I have opened my notebook, there is in the background, one kernel program is executing in the console. Whatever we'll do in this Jupyter notebook program will show you that in the command prompt too. Few things. This is our cell where we execute our code. Whatever you want to do, we execute here. Okay, so for an example, I say name equal to input, print your name. Okay, and then I say, okay, print function name. And let me write here, hello. Don't need to worry about code. We'll explain you this thing. But see, I have written something in this cell. This cell is in active mode right now. When I click on run, you can see I have an inbox here, and which is the job of this input function, guys. This is name is my variable. What is variable? Variable in which you store values. And obviously when I want to create my robot, obviously I want to store some instructions, some values, which I will later use in my program. So we have created one variable here, which is name. And we said, okay, the job of this in this name variable, whatever you write inside this cell will store in this. Make sense? So let me write in this, let's say IT tools training. Hit enter. Once I hit enter, you can see what this is printed. This is printed here. Hello name, hello IT tool trainings. So in this cell, you can see when I click on this cell, this becomes in green color. That means this is in active mode. When you come outside and when you want to navigate, just press escape key. You can see this is in blue color. This is in command mode. So using this, we can easily navigate between the multiple cells. This is your input and this is your output, guys. Very important to understand. Because if you write some program here to create some visual, you will see your visual in the output. And in the next cell, I will write something else. So this is the UI of your Jupyter notebook. If you want to insert more cells here, when I click on run button, when I write something, let's say, let me write print hello again. When I click on run button, see, program has executed a command, but program has also inserted one more cell below this. If you want to insert some cell above this, just click on insert. You can see here, and we can say insert cell above and below. Okay, we can convert. This language is in code mode right now. You can see we can convert in markdown mode, row and we convert headings. Those are the things we perform inside Python notebook, which makes our code very easy to understand. One more thing important to understand here is related to, you can see we can execute one by one each cell. So let's say I want to create one huge program. So what we do, we break down that program into multiple parts. First thing is data load. Second is data cleaning. Third is data prep. And fourth is data visualization. We can write those in multiple cells and we can execute each cell one by one. No need to execute your entire program in one go. If you want to execute your entire program in one go, click on this kernel and you can see, okay, so this will stop and execute kernel. In this, you can see we have run all in cells, run cells and select below cell. And the shortcut for that is, for an example, I have, suppose I don't have this cell. Let me create this. And from here, I want to run this command and I want to insert blue cell below this. Just click on shift enter and you can see this has executed this command, which you can see output here, and we have a blank cell here. I'm giving you some basic understanding regarding the Jupyter notebook. You can see some shortcuts here. Change cell to heading, change cell to, for an example, this right now in a code mode. I want to convert this into heading mode. So you can see command +1. So if I click on this, this is right now in heading mode. So whatever you write here, this is our session 1. So Rahul, this is your markdown mode. Now this is just for comment purpose. Whatever you are doing in your cell below or in your program below, and you want to give some heading, just use shift enter and you can see this is our heading of our Jupyter notebook. And for this, important is to convert your mode into markdown mode in your cell. Now I have used, if I double click on this in my cell 1 hash, if you use 2 hash, this is heading 2, which is smaller than heading 3. So this goes from H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, like HTML language. So if I say H3, H4, shift enter, so you can see heading here. Okay, so you can write your heading in the markdown mode, or we have directly heading also. And in code mode, we write our program guide. This is important to understand. So the things which we have covered till now: understanding of Python language, high level interpreter language. High level means close to human. We can easily write, we can easily understand. You can see print. I know what is print. What is input? We can convert this into machine code using compilers and interpreters. Python, we use interpreter. We don't compile in Python. When we talk about interpreter, we execute our code step by step. Okay, but what happens in languages, those who use compiler to convert the entire code into machine code, they first execute the entire code. If something wrong between the code, program will execute error. Third thing we have covered, our distribution package, which is Anaconda, which we need to create our models, our program. So after this session, install Anaconda in your machine if you have not, if you don't have Python. Benefit of Anaconda is you will get all the essential packages which are required for data analysis and data visualization. And then in Anaconda, we have notebook, which is Jupyter notebook. Right? It's a web-based interface. You can see this is the web-based interface, and I have created IPython notebook. Now, if I want to access my notebook, I have renamed this as session 1. You can go in your directory here in Jupyter. If you scroll down, you will find your, or you can search also here. Name of my file is session You can see this is in green color because this is active. This is right now open. I am working on this file. Rest of them are not in green color. Right. This is my active file. Let's come here. Some other shortcuts also you will find in this, and you can use them as per your requirement. So this was related to Jupyter Notebook. Let's start with our very first part, very first program, which is topic, which is data structures. All right. Program is data analysis. So what I want to do, I want to work on data. I want to store my data. I want to organize my data. I want to manipulate my data. I want to manage my data. Correct. For that, we need objects in which we can store data. Think before act. Might be your name is, it's good name. But if I leave basics and students who don't know basics, this will become very hard for them. Right. So data structures are containers inside which we store data. They're very common, correct? We need objects in which we can store data. In Python base, we have data structures like list, tuples. I will start with this. We have a good number of data structures here, but we'll cover our list, tuple, sets, and dictionaries. I have commented this line because I have started this line with hash code. These are the common data structures. Any questions till now? Rahul, Shafali, Abhishek, Sarvjeet. Any questions regarding list, tuple, what are set, what are dictionaries? We will explain you these, how we create them, how we use them. It's also a data structure. Let's go with this way. How to create them, Nishu, and what is the syntax, we'll explain you later, but let's go by this. Data structure inside which we store data. We want to organize our data, we want to manage our data. Right, so that is very important. Jay Agrawal, if you want to execute any cell, shortcut key is Shift Enter, which you can refer from this Jupyter Notebook also from here as per your requirement. You can see the list of shortcut keys from here. Let's start with the very first data structure, which is list. List, it's heterogeneous in nature. And mutable. It's heterogeneous and mutable. That means heterogeneous means we can enter mixed data type values. I can store integer values, I can store floating values, I can store string in this data structure when I'm storing my data. Mutable means we can change, delete, edit our data structure once we create it. If you have created one data structure and later you want to change it, you want to do some changes on that, yes, we can do this in list. The second data structure, which is tuple here, this is same like list, but this is not mutable. So tuple is not mutable in nature. So when you create tuple, whatever values you stored, later you can't edit those values. You can't add new values. You can't delete values. So you have to understand in your program, do you want to create a data structure, that means an object in which you want to store values, and where you don't want to give user access or even your programmer access so that they can change the values. Let me show you some examples of our list data structure here. So we can search for data structure, and you can see we have list understanding. Let's come here. How we create list data structure, guys? We need square bracket to create list data structure. You can take reference from here. I have created my shopping list and I have stored some values in the list data structure. We have covered that. Okay, list, it's heterogeneous in nature and also mutable. Now here you can see we have data structure in which milk, butter, chocolates and breads. Few values I have stored in double quotes in square bracket. This is how we create our list. Once you refer through our section 1 of our data analysis and visualization Python program, there we have explained in detail. And topic wise, I am explaining you here. If you want to print the values, if you want to return the values from your this data structure, just simply write print and your data structure name. This will return the values. If you want to return any specific value, let's say I want to access this element, the indexing, as you can see, collection of item. I can write here, I want to access this item. The indexing starts from 0, guys. 0, 1, 2, and 3. So if I write here, I want to access my element, which is at 3rd position. And now if I write, if I run this cell, click on this, and you can see bread. 0, 1, 2, and 3. It's an array collection of items. It's a heterogeneous in nature. We can store 1, we can store 1.5. Is that it's a mixed data type. Click on run again. Okay, instead of 3, let me return all the values here. So you can see milk, butter, chocolates, bread, 1, 1.5 in this data structure. Indexing starts from 0. If you want to access any item, just write in the square bracket that position and you can access that item. So accessing, how to access that item, we have covered here. Just give me a second, guys. I can't see the checkbox. It's like an array, right? Collection of item. Second is slicing. Slicing means, okay, I don't want to access any specific item. I want to slice this. I want to extract this part. So in slicing, we have 3 parameters: start, end, and how many steps you want to skip. So check here, start, end, and how many steps you want to skip. So every parameter is not mandatory. If you ignore it, so program will keep as per the relevant value. Slicing your list. Guys, this is very common. We are covering right now basics here of data structure. I'm not covering these in detail, but I'm just giving you input. Note down these things, because when you access the recordings, understand this, because in my program, when I will write my one ML model, I have to start from scratch. We have to load data and we have to play along with the data. So these things are important here. So list, start, end, and step. I said I have not mentioned anything in the start. You can see here. If I'm not mentioned anything, that means by default, I want to start from the first. I want to start from the milk, which is at 0th index. And is not included. So if I mention 2, so that means this will hold only 0 and 1. This will not hold second position item here. So this is not included, guys. So if I write this again, like colon 2, so what output this will return? This will return only milk and butter, because this will start from here, this will end here. I have missed my end step. How many steps I want to skip? I have ignored this right now. So let's click on run and you can see the same output here. Or instead of 2, if I write 3 here, what will happen in this case? So this will exclude 3. So 0, 1, 2. This will return chocolate also here. So let's click on run, or you can use a shortcut command and you can see milk, butter, and chocolate. So this is how we slice our list. If you don't mention your end, so that means we start from the first, we want to go to the end, and how many steps you want to skip. And if you mention here step as 2 and click on run, you can see the output here, milk, chocolate, 1. So we started from 1 and we have skipped. You can see here every second step, and then chocolate, then we have skipped this step, and then you can see the Okay, so as this is not the list here, this is our list. We have not executed this cell. So you can see this chocolate, this, and we have ignored this step also. No output there. And you can see the output. 4 important things we have covered here. How to create list in data structure. 5th topic, which you should note down. What are data structures? Objects, because we want to organize, manage, store our data in a program. So we have data structure. The very first data structure which we have covered is list, which is heterogeneous and mutable in nature. How to create this? We store values in square bracket. We have covered how to slice our and how to access items from the list. Second is tuple, which we score in braces, and this is not mutable in nature. There is the difference between list and tuple. If output is coming in double quote, Rahul, correct input Hemant, these values are characters. Characters we write Rahul in double quote. Okay. So if you write characters in programming languages, we write in double quotes. This is your integer value. This is your floating decimal value. Next, one more important thing here. When we said, okay, we have indexing from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. We also have a negative indexing which starts from -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. So if when you are accessing item and you say -1, and if you check at -1, I have 1.5 here. Let me show you. If I click this and run, you can see the output here 1.5. So you can also use negative indexing. Right. Now, again, one more basic concept of programming language. We have created object inside which we have stored some data. And that object is list here, and list my list is my shopping list. Name of this. I can give any name to this list. What I want to do, I want to do some actions on that. I want to perform some actions on that. Right? That is what methods are. I want to append means I want to add new item in my list. What is my existing list? My existing list is this list, guys. Or you can write here also, or you can write print my shopping list. So you can see this is your existing list. Now what you want to do, you did some analysis in between and now you have new numbers which you want to store. So how I can perform some actions on my object? So for that we have method here, and the action, the type of action which I want to perform is I want to add a new method, new values. And for that we have append method. Like you can see here, my list append, and what I want to append here, simply you can see here I have entered hello instead of hello, the string value. Let me enter here, let's say fruits. In Python, you write character in single quote or double quote, then it's fine. This is character I have written here in single quote, but above if you check character we have written in double quote. It's okay, no challenge with that. Okay. So these are methods. Now whenever you want to work on some object, we use methods. So understanding of method is also important. And for each object, we have different methods. Maybe names are same, that's okay. I want to add new item, we have append. I want to insert, you can see insert, we can also use here. Using this gem, we have inserted here. You can define at which position you want to insert. In insert, we have one more parameter here. So this has inserted 0, 1, 2, and a third index, this item. Type, it's a function which is telling us this object, what is the data type of this object. You can see this is list. So, okay, in your program, you are checking that we have a my shopping is one object. What type of object this is? This is tuple, this is list, this is dictionary, this is sets. How we can cross check? Just write type and then that data structure name, program will give you output that this is list. Help, and then your object name will give you the, you can see the list of functions and method belongs to them. So you can see we have methods like we can append, we can clear, we can copy, we can count, we can extend, index. These are the insert, pop to remove your items, remove. Also we use to remove your items, reverse sort. You can see the list of methods which we can use, the actions which we can apply on our objects. Okay. It's object oriented programming. We are working on object right here, and you can see the list of items. So this here we have discussed about list. When you will refer the videos, you will get the detailed understanding about the each and every methods and functions which we need to work on objects when we work in our program. Next is, any questions, guys? All right. Okay. Next is tuples. We said, okay, when we talked about data structure, we have list, we have set, we have dictionary, we have tuples. Let's talk about tuples. And we have already discussed one difference between tuple and list is tuple are not mutable in nature. That means we can't add, delete or edit values. How we create them? We have created list using square bracket. Here we have created them in braces. Just pass the values, all the integer values. So I have not written any value in double quote. In this also indexing starts from 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. I want to access element which is at first position. Just click on run and you can see 0, 1 at this position, at this indexing we have 2 here. If I make this 1 and click on run, this is 21 now. I have created one tuple here, my data structure in which I have stored these all values. In this also you can use negative indexing, -1, -2, -3, -4, -1 here of this data structure, and you can see this is written for. Everything is same. The first difference is we create tuple in square bracket, list in square bracket, and this we create in braces. Second, these are immutable in nature. That means we can't edit, delete values. Rest all you can see start, end, and then step you mentioned you want to skip. We can also use negative indexing here. If you want to access all the items, don't mention your start, don't mention your end, program will access your every item. We can also use a help function here, and we have created which was cars. Okay, so help cars. This is cars actually, cars. So guys, Python is case sensitive. You can see I have written this, created this object in lowercase, so I should write in lowercase, and I have used again help, which is built-in function, and this has shared with me the list of methods belongs to this object. You will get in detail understanding regarding this. Second data structure this is, and third data structure which we cover now is, let's pick dictionaries. Dictionary, it's a combination of key and values. You can see combination of key and value, right? Pair of key and value. Like you can see, I have here brand, and then which car of that brand, brand, which car of that brand, brand, which car of that brand, and every key and value pair is comma separated. Like in my HR database, my employee name, his date of joining, employee ID, his date of joining. Now, if you want to access any item from here, let's say, okay, I want to check in my this dictionary, which is key and value combination pair. I want to see, okay, what is the car name of this brand, Nissan. I simply write Nissan and you can see the output is car name here. If you want to access entire, you can simply write your dictionary name inside print function and program will give you the entire dictionary. Dictionary we create using curly braces. So anywhere in your program, when you are creating, you want to access element in key and value combination, you can create your own dictionary and then you can use it. Some methods again belongs to this object also. Understanding of those methods which are very common and we use them in our day-to-day analytics work. At least get hands over those methods. Next, sets. In this is not ordered, this is unordered, and we can store only unique values. So you can write this as collection of unordered unique values. So any cases in your program, you need some unique values and then you want to pass them, you want to work on them, you can create sets. In list, we can create insert duplicate values. In tuples, we can insert, but in set, we can't insert duplicate values. So here, for an example, if I write print my set 1, you can see the output here. But if I try to pass duplicate value here, you can see this is ignore the second duplicate value and we have only Tata here. And this is not ordered in nature. There is no indexing. You can see what output we got here: Hyundai, Nissan, Tata, and Ford. Okay. So if someone asks you, okay, what is the, which is very common question, guys, what is the difference between list, tuple, dictionary, and set? They are data structure. We use them to store values. List, it's heterogeneous in nature, mutable in nature. Indexing starts from 0. We also have a negative indexing. Tuple, it's not mutable in nature. Second data structure we have covered in our program. Dictionaries, combination of key and value. By passing any specific key, you want to access your values, which is very common requirement. You might have some cases where you want to give user option. Okay, if he passed 2012, I want to do this. If he passed 2013, I want to do this. If 14, I want to do this. And I have few set of values between our program. Data structures we have started here, but data structure in our course, which you will start here, it's a second section, guys. You can see list, tuple, dictionary, and set, and differences between list, tuple, dictionary, and set. Second section. In first section, we have variables. Now, interesting thing about Python is in Python, we don't declare variable. Variable like values you want to store, which can vary, right, in your program. Those are variables. Now, in other programming languages, we declare before using variable. Like we define that, okay, this variable I want to use, and the data type of this variable is integer, and data type of this variable is character or floating. And as per the defining, they assign the size to the variable. But in Python, you simply write value, and when you assign value, program declare the variable. So there is no extra step required in Python. Let me just show you quickly. So let's access this Jupyter notebook. Now here you can see what is variables. If we start with the definition, a Python variable is a reserved memory location to store values. So it's a memory location at which we have some stored values. So we said, okay, we have a variable in which we have stored 10. So when we store 10, program define that, okay, this is integer. When we stored Python as in a character, or let me store this as IT tools training. B equal to IT tool training. So that means this is character. If you want to test the output, you can use type function. Remember, we have used at any point of time, if you want to check what type of values we have. Very important logical check. Sometimes when we store values in variable and later we go in our program and we find that, okay, our program is giving error and this is data type error. What is the reason? We have 0 here, but might be from this file from where we have loaded data, we have not successfully parsed it and number values are coming as character. Okay, so variable, it's a one topic, go through in detail. As per our session 1 input, my expectation is our next session is on Friday. So on our tomorrow and day after tomorrow session. Close data structure, install Anaconda in your machine, understand variable, understand operators. We can use all the arithmetic operators like plus, minus, equal to, division. You can see I have declared two number variable. I have used plus operator. If I scroll down, minus operator, you can see output is 4.5 and 2.3 is 2.2. Now these are the complex numbers. Program will still add them and you can see the output is 5 plus 4, 9, 8 plus 1, 9, 9 plus 9j. These are two values, complex values here. String. Okay. And then after variables, we have if else if statement. Again, very common requirement in programming language. What I want to do on the basis of conditions, I want to do something. On the basis of conditions, I want to perform something. If my variable value is 5 and where we have a condition, if it's greater than 2, return your application is accepted. So whenever I get in one variable value greater than 2, I want to return this message. So obviously we have a condition here. So for condition, we have if statement. If you have only one condition, you can use if logical statement. If you have multiple condition, okay, so everyone, we have a question from Pankaj here, which is a list starts from 0, 1 and 2. Negative indexing starts from -1, -2. Why not it starts from 0? Pankaj, as you have already defined that your first indexing is 0. So whenever you will write 0th indexing, that means you will access the first element. Correct? Which is not possible. So when you want to access the last element, you just write -1. Rahul, when we talk about AI, it's a concept. And if else, it's a part of our programming language, which is very common. Now to train your AI model, you have two subset of data. And you said if my situation is this, I want to load this data. If situation is this, I want to load this data. Or I want to perform this algorithm if situation is this. So wherever you want to write logical check, the important input here is if statement is very important, because wherever you want to perform logical check and on the basis of that you want to do something, we use if statement. I want to allow access to the student to the next module once he has GPA score greater than 2. So I want to test it. We have a logical condition here. So obviously we use if statement. I have tested my condition. If this don't satisfy my condition, I want to do something else. For that we have else here. In Python, indentation is very important, guys. This indentation is very important. Note down this also. If I remove my indentation from here, that means this print statement, this block is not, this statement is not part of this block. That means I have closed my if statement. And now if I hit shift enter, you can see error here. Indentation block is required, which means the statement is part of the statement. Now if I run this, you can see we have successfully executed this cell, and you can see the output here. Else, and then again we have indentation. We have closed our line using colon here. You can see once we enter colon, program will automatically insert one indentation, which if you want to ignore, you can insert backspace, but obviously I don't want to ignore here. Let me enter tab and print what I print. Your application is denied. So here score is right now 1.5, where condition will become false, and when condition will become false, program will jump to the else part. I have two situations. If true, I want to do this. If else, I want to do this. If you have multiple condition, if GPA score is greater than 4, I want to give him some, let's say greater than 8 or something like that. I want to give him some scholarship also, and we'll accept his application. So we can test multiple condition using elif. So we said if greater than 2, do this. If greater than 1.5, do this. If it's not greater than 1.5 also, and it's less than 1.5, that means program will jump to the else part and do this. Okay, so here we have covered that we have data structures in which we store values, which are dictionary sets, and there are some differences between them. Go through the differences, guys, in detail. And then here we said we have variables, which is a memory location where we stored values, and we need values in our program. Okay, so instead of passing hard-coded value, we store values in variable, and later we pass in our program. So if I want to change it, I can call it by variable name. If a is equal to 15 in my program, instead of writing 15 and one location, we pass them by variable, so that in future, if you want to do something, we have to just call them by variable, and we can change the values. Then next important topic is logical statement, and which is we have covered if, elif, and else. You have to check which one you want to use. Okay, if, elif, and else. You have to understand your logical statement, and accordingly you have to write. Syntax is very easy, guys. If I show you again, if this conditional check, indentation is important, colon, do this, elif, if this becomes true, do this. If this becomes true, do this. Now after this, logical statement will cover, you have to close in our tomorrow and day after tomorrow, loops. I want to tell my robot, I want to tell my program certain statements and things do multiple times. Like, okay, today I have downloaded my data from Oracle or from any source, and we have, let's say, telecom industry. Whenever I download my data from SAP, we get data in multiple files. We get Delhi region data in different file. We get Rajasthan data in different file, UP data in different file, Bangalore file, data in different file. We get data in different file. What I want to do before running my model or before doing my analysis, I want to collate my data. Now I write some program. Let's say program is to download data in one table, and then I perform some data cleaning steps. There are some unwanted columns. There are some unwanted records, which I don't need. So I have created one program to work on my data on one data file. But same step of program I want to repeat. Here comes the concept of loops. So whenever you want to repeat your statement, you want to perform your statement multiple times, we use loops. So those guys who are from programming background, these topics are very common for them. right? Because in every languages we have conditional statement, we have data structures, we have loops, we have variables. Similarly in Python also. Yes, Ram Singh. So while okay, so let's say every day you get 100 files, more than 100 files every day, 100 plus files you CSV file you get from the data source. Your conditional check is sometimes what happens, your files are blank. You don't want to use those files. So that means now here we have a situation which is while in my loop, check my files. If they are blank files, ignore them. Again, common requirement. Okay, so in loops we have for loop, we have while loop. For loop, when you know how many times you want to run a loop. While loop, on the basis of conditional check, we execute your loop. Wherever you want to iterate your statement, like here on my first file, whatever command I have performed, whatever logics we have written, the same logics I want to perform on my another 99 files also. Or I have a client, let's say I am into HR analytics. I have a client for which I create reports every day, dashboard, reports related to, let's say, my employee attrition percentage, and some graph charts I have visualized. I do my attrition, I do some prediction also on the basis of that. Now I have a client like I'm taking care of Samsung, I'm taking care of Nokia, I am taking care of LG. You have good number of clients. Now you have created one model, and as you are managing the process of HR analytics for your each client, you want to implement the same model for each client. So that means what you want to do, and then you want to throw output in different sheets, because Samsung output you don't want to share with Nokia, and Nokia output you don't want to share with LG. So you have one model which you want to iterate on multiple data sets, and you want to throw the output in different files. So like this, if I have 50 plus client, obviously I will not work on each client. If I want to repeat my model and the data structure is same, my condition, my scenarios are same. Let's say I did research and I have collated data, and I have good database here of one XYZ thing, and they are asking me for reports on the basis of your data which you have collected from different sources. Give us one report. You can write a program. Correct. So loops means whenever you want to iterate your statements, statement by set of instruction, that means your Python program. We have for, we have while, obviously syntax are different. For, when you know how many times you want to run statement, execute. And while means on the basis of logical check. Like you said, I have 100 plus files in one folder which we every day get from our systems, SAP. And logic is not that every day we append 100 plus file. We start from first file, and then those file comes on the basis of time stamping. We start from first file, and logic is if file comes where we have certain specific information which is related to end of process or end of program XYZ, but we don't know at what time stamping, at what position in my 100 plus files will get that file. So when we run our program, we write condition. So this is on the basis of file is on the basis of logical check. We check our first file. We use this in a program because we don't have that specific condition. We check our second file. We use this. We use third file, fourth file, fifth file. Let's suppose at 55th file. At 55th file, we get file which is satisfying our logical check, our condition. I will exit the loop there because that loop is on the basis of logical check. that if in that file we have this thing, exit my loop or close my loops. But in case of for loop, we define it that from 1 till 55th. Now the situation which we have discussed, we don't know, because this will change every time. Maybe this file is 55th file or 60th file or 65th file or 5th file. So we have to understand our problem statement, and accordingly we use loops. For loop, when you know how many times you want to iterate. If I want to iterate all the files, I will use for loop. I will define file I equal to 1 to not 100th file, because I will check number of files we have in that folder, in that directory. But in while loop, you can apply a logical check, and on the basis of logical check, program will jump inside the loop and will test it. Once your condition becomes true, program will exit the loop. So very important, guys. This is also very important topic which you have to cover in detail. I can show you some examples of for loop. You can see here. Oh, let me write this is while also. Now, if you check this thing, this example where we said range, it's a function which returns values. So here range function will return 1 to 10 values. And what is the syntax of your for loop? For loop is your for x is your variable in this list, range, tuple, anything. That means collection of values. List, it's array. You can pass your list also here. Correct? If you have create list like L is my list in which we stored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's these values. So you can pass your list also here, L, colon. Then whatever you want to do, you can do here. I want to print my variable name, and then squared is our operator multiplication. So this will return square. Let me remove this from here, and then program will return the same output. Let's multiply it thrice. You can use a tilde operator also there for power, but let me just show you the output. X is not defined. We have used X in lowercase. Okay, this one we have problem here. It's case sensitive, guys. And you can see the output here 1, 8, because if you multiply 2 by 3 times, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. So you can see 8 output here. 3 into 3, 9, 9 into 3, 27. Cube here you can see. Now what is this? We have created one list. In list we have a set of values, and we want to iterate through each value. We want to iterate through each value, and on each value what we are doing, we are returning this output. Okay, so loop is to iterate. Now we are iterating through list, and then we are executing only one statement, but there are some other statement also. In range function, which we have used earlier, when we create, we define two values from where you want to start, from where you want to end. So earlier we have written here, we want to start from 1 and we want to end at 10. If I write here range, if we want to start from 11 and we want to end at 20, click on run, and you can see the output. Obviously this is not included, this is excluded, so we should write here 21. So you can see 11 till 20 and cube of 11. You can see the output as. In this we have one more parameter of this function range, where you can pass how many steps you want to jump. Okay, I want to 2 steps. So click on run, and you can see this is 1. This is skip second step, 13, 14 skip, 15, 16 skip, 17, 18 skip, 19, and this is skip 20 also. And my last is 21, which is not included. So this is also one function. Whenever you want to generate some number in your program, we use this function. And instead of this function, you can pass your list, tuple, set of values. Now this for loop is with one built-in logic, which is like to return cumulative sum, running total. I want to do some let's say in my report, financial report, I want to do MTD calculations. month to date calculations. I have daily sales, and suppose today is 25th June, suppose that, and I want to see how much is total sales and how the trend is going. If I add my day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, accumulate my numbers, MTD, QTD, quarter to date, YTD, year to date calculations I want to perform. So we said, okay, let's start from scratch. We have one variable which is running, and it's equals to 0, and running is equals to running plus, and then you can see multiplication of this. So whatever we did here, program will return the output as per that. Now click on run and you can see the output. We have executed here. The sum of first 20 square is 2870. Okay, Rahul, right now we are creating, guys, we have a question from Rahul, how to access program from databases. I will share with you video from where you can go through different databases, different connectors we have. But yes, this is the common thing. We never load data like this. We need a 2-dimensional data structure. Right now we have a list only, but the famous 2-dimensional data structure is a data frame of pandas, which is like your Excel worksheet in which store data, and we work on that. So how to load data from Oracle, MySQL Server, or SQL, IBM DB2 from different databases. We write different connectors we use and establish the connections between them. So Ram, this is question related to other where we perform do loop while and do while loop. So beginning of the while loop we check and end of the while loop we check. So there is also a difference between them, right? If you check end of the program, program will test it at least one time. All right. So loops till here is only my expectation that you guys cover topic from our data visualization and analytics, and we have one more basics of Python program. You can access that program also in that. Prepare with the basics, cover small topics. So you have tomorrow and day after tomorrow, cover these topics, and then we'll cover the again topics which are under Python essentials, like functions, user defined function. I want to create my own function, like type is one function to return the data type. Guys, I have a question here, which function we can use to return the methods belongs to the object. I have used that function in between my list and other data structures check. Which function will help you to check? Help. Right, I have used help function to check. Okay. So this is the content for day 1. Go through the courses. You can see we have one base course, core Python course for beginners, and this spot data analysis and visualization. If you check both the courses, we have basics topics of Python. Let's go to course section, introduction to Python, Python installation, use the interpreter, basics of data type, containers, main function, variables, operators. Till here you can cover. Or in this course also you can cover section 1 and section 2. Here we have while loop, for loop, if else, variable. On our second day, agenda is will cover functions, user defined functions, will understand NumPy, will not deep dive in detail, but I will explain you why we use NumPy. We create n-dimensional array using this, and NumPy stands for numerical Python. Pandas for data frame, and very important data object we can create, which is two-dimensional data structure, data frames, in which we can store data like Excel sheet format. In rows and column, we can store data. And Matplotlib for data visualization. So once we close this section, that means we are now ready to use data for our ML models. And then we'll start our ML part. All right. Any questions, guys, before we close our day one session? My input again is whenever your instructor gives his 10 hours, give your at least 1,000 hours. Sure, Tanush. Amit, first program to print name. See, print, you can use print function directly. You can write your name. That's it. We have covered that. Prepare yourself in our day one and day two so that we can give our 100% on our day three to understand the statistics, and we start working on models then. All right then, guys, this is for the day. Thank you everyone. Have a nice day and nice week.